Hello everyone, this is Tim, and this is going to be a video response to Tower Guard DM or Win. His video is about what character are you playing, and I actually have multiple characters that I'm playing right now, so I'm going to go through some of those. And I'll put a link down to Win's channel below if you're not subscribed to him. He's a really good, great guy, has great insight, and I appreciate him posing this question to me, so I'm going to answer it. One of the characters I'm playing right now, his name is Mordat. He's a Gamorrean, which is the green-skinned guys that are like holding the axe in Jabba's palace in the Star Wars movies. It's an evil Star Wars campaign. There are a few Sith characters. There is a few Force-using characters that aren't really Jedi or Sith. They just have Force powers. I think one guy was like something like a Star Wars sort of wrestler. His character's kind of funny, and he's actually my boss. He owns the ship that we usually fly around on, and I was basically sold into slavery. They cut me open. There's some wet works, like sort of genetic organs in me in places. My throat was ripped out, and it was replaced by a C-3PO voice box. So I'm this big husky guy, right? And the funny thing is, I can beat people down pretty well with my vibro axe, or I think I have some sort of like rocket hammer right now. But I have this voice that's very robotic and has no emotion in it. So it's been quite comical in certain places when something really bad is happening. My character will be like, "Oh shit." Just very, very spaced out. I've been trying to do it sort of like Captain Kirk, where there's just spaces for no reason, and then it gets real quick, and then, so I've been trying to do that with a sort of like robot voice, and everyone sort of appreciated that when I just throw out the robot voice, for situations. But he has, like, his arm has been removed, and he has some droid parts, which is kind of funny because Gamorreans usually hate droids, and they usually smash them. And I'm part droid, so the running joke around the table is that I'm like 1/4 of a person, because droids are considered like second-class citizens, if people at all, and Gamorreans are pretty low on the totem pole as well. So I'm very much a support character. I don't even have any money compared to some of the other characters. I'm owned. I'm a piece of property, because people own droids. I was a slave. I was sold to this the wrestler guy. And I'm basically the butler. So I'm this big burly guy. I have like parasites growing off of my chest, and I move them around. I have names for them. And I'm kind of just like a freak of a character, and I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. There have been a few situations in the campaign that, like I said, have kind of made me a little mad. But for the most part, it's been really fun. I really haven't played in a Star Wars campaign, and it's nice to have some experience with the Star Wars D6 rules that Webhead, he was nice enough to give me a copy of the Star Wars D6 rules, the expanded universe. I think it's revised and expanded, and that came really in handy. Thank you very much once again, Jordan, for that. And alright, so that's pretty much my first character. The second character, I'm actually playing Raistlin. Yes, the Raistlin. The campaign is set in the Dragonlance setting, and the GM had an old Dragonlance module that actually involved the main characters from the stories. And he's been pretty cool about letting us deviate and go in different directions than the stories have gone, like the first 3 Dragonlance books. So we've been kind of screwing things up or doing things in a different way. Instead of Raistlin sort of being worshipped by Gully Dwarves, he's worshipped by Kobolds now. So, because I figured Gully Dwarves and Kobolds are pretty much in the same kind of class of people. People always hate them, or they think they're dirty, or stupid, or whatever. So Raistlin's actually worshipped by Kobolds in this version of Raistlin, or this version of Dragonlance. And we've been using the Labyrinth Lord rules, which is basically like the basic and expert classic Dungeons and Dragons, like the red box, blue box D&D from way back when. So that's been pretty cool. The next game, maybe I should clarify. The Star Wars D6 game is a weekly game, so I play that once a week. And the Star Wars game is probably going to wrap up in like 3 sessions, I think. And there's a few possible campaigns after that, we'll see. The next 3 games are all played at Gasp. That's my gaming club in Pittsburgh. So I actually get to play 3 different campaigns once a month. So it's like 13 hours, 4-hour slots, a little half-hour break in between. So I get to get like 3 different campaigns in one day, and after that day it can be quite tiring. But so I'm playing Raistlin, the Dragonlance game, Labyrinth Lord. The next character is Jane Doe, and I want to play a female character because I think I've only done that once before and it was kind of short-lived. But this character, Jane Doe, is in the Fallout setting of the video games, post-apocalyptic, sort of cheesy humor thrown in there, and it's actually taking place in Detroit. So the name of the game is Fallout Detroit. So, Detroit is, it has its issues just in modern day. So when you throw on the post-apocalyptic nuclear fallout, it's a really kind of evocative place to have this setting. And the GM's been really cool about using like Google Maps and finding interesting locations in the actual city itself and trying to figure out what it would look like in the future when things are all messed up and sort of like a alternate history sort of thing. Like we found some, I think, a GM plant and a bus garage, and it's interesting because he has like the glow. It's sort of like where the where the main like destruction from the nuclear fallout took place, and the explosion and all that. So it's very interesting because he's taking a lot of the Fallout ideas and he's incorporating it into the setting. But Jane Doe, she's a wastelander. She's kind of a scumbag. She's latched on to a super mutant, and she has him on a chain. And he's actually played by another one of the players. So there's been this kind of running gag where I call him Honey and Cutie Pie and things like that. And I've been trying to, the Narrabin gave me some ideas for role-playing female characters where, I pretend like I'm twisting my hair, or, I put my hands on my hips and things like that. And I don't get into the female voice as much as I should, but I've been trying to do that more. And it's kind of comical, but people seem to enjoy it. It seems to fit with that sort of comical, post-apocalyptic kind of theme. But yeah, Fallout Detroit has been a lot of fun. I have a super mutant on a chain. I have she usually uses like a rifle. I think she also has a shotgun because the ammunition is quite scarce. So she figured it'd be a good idea to have multiple types of guns to, if she finds more ammunition, to be able to use different rounds. The next character is, let me see here. Is that right? That's right, because I'm in the third slot at GASP. I'm running a game. So the next kind of games are a play-by-post and a play-by-email game. I'm playing Kua. He is kind of one of those alien races in my Burning Heaven setting. He has like black stubs where wings supposedly were in the race. He has what look like scales but are actually small feathers. Very blue, big eyes. And he is an elementalist. He focuses on water and water spells. So like a water mage, if you will. But in the campaign, it's actually interesting because not only does he use elemental spells, but he really worships the 3 water gods in the setting. And his role in the party, there's actually no cleric. So the only healing they've had so far is his like very minor healing abilities. So he has kind of taken on the role of the cleric, and I'm trying to figure out if he should continue to be an elementalist and maybe take more charismatic skills, or if he should really just become a multi-class cleric and elementalist, focusing on water. So he's been a lot of fun to play. The character idea actually wasn't mine. I originally was running this game on the Real Role-Playing forums, and things in life got a little crazy for a while, and I stepped down from running the game, and one of the other players stepped up. If he ever steps down, I'll probably run it again just to keep it going, because it's been running for about a couple years now. So that's actually pretty cool. It's actually lasted longer than my face-to-face games. But of course, it's play-by-post, so it's very slow. But he gets frustrated. It's a D100 system. I think he has like a plus 15 to public speaking, and he's always trying to have these good speeches or whatever, and then I roll the dice and they're just piss poor. So it's quite comical. It's frustrating, but it's comical. Okay, so that's the play-by-post game, and there's one more character that I'm playing right now, and it's an interesting sort of playing, so I don't know if this actually counts, but Daramush, he's a human priest, and he's basically the leader. He's like a 4th level cleric, in a domain level game. This is kind of like Birthright, where you're more running a kingdom or a settlement, and you have to keep track of all your followers and what are they doing. And this is actually played, it was supposed to be played, a turn was every 2 weeks, and that represented a month in game time. But it seems like it's a month in real time equals a month at game time lately. But we've been play testing some Labyrinth Lord sort of Birthright domain level rules, and it's been a lot of fun. The GM basically went in and created a map. I think it's like Hexographer, and there's just little hexes all over the place. So it's very hex crawlish with numbers, and we're exploring. We basically have gone through these portals into this new world that seemingly doesn't have any intelligent life, at least not from my perspective. There's, I think, 15 different players in the game, and there's this fog of war. So I've only bumped into one other player so far, and we've kind of been talking, kicking around the ideas of trading, some sort of possible military alliance, maybe lending of troops and labor, like my kingdom is trying to build roads and build structures. I have a temple built out of stone. We have a mine. The kingdom, the settlement, it's not really a kingdom, is basically humans with a very cleric, priestly approach, very religious. And then there's also dwarves that are part of the religion, but they're usually not as religious as the humans. But they've kind of grown together in some sort of symbiosis as a culture. So it's a human and dwarven kind of feel to it. But he's very Daramush, the character, is very down to earth. He's very, the idea of the leaders being the servants is very strong in his personality. So whenever I'm trying to figure out the who's doing what for the month, he's often building things or helping with labor. So he's not one of those leaders that sits behind a desk and tells you what to do. He's one of those people that is muddy, standing right beside you, complaining about his back hurting, but basically trying to motivate his people. So he's very much like a blue collar leader, and I guess that's how I kind of see myself when I was a supervisor. So I was kind of thinking about that for his character. But that's pretty much what I'm playing right now. That Star Wars game will probably wrap up, and we'll see. Maybe I'll be running something. Maybe I'll be playing something next. I don't even know. All right, guys. Win. Thanks for the video, and I'll talk to you guys later.